Hello everyone, this is Anup and welcome back to our online video tutorial. Today I'm going to walk you through how I edit this photo. I took this photo on my photography workshop in Pokhara. So yes, today I will show you how we can take this raw photo and do something on both Lightroom and Photoshop. So the first thing I would do is I would crop it to make it look bit compositionally balanced, because for me photography is it's always about a good composition. A good composition can really make your photos, and a bad composition would break your photos, no matter how sharp, how perfect exposure you get. For me, composition is really important. So yeah, the tree that is coming from one of the edge is really disturbing the image, and this small house is also taking attention. Here the main subject is the person and the ambience. So I guess I will try this amount of cropping first, and maybe a bit more. Reset, and this amount of cropping, I think this would look good. Since this is non-destructive editing, I can always go back and crop a bit more or crop a bit less. So for now I would like to work with this. This should be fine. Now let's play with the white balance, because the color is more or less it's near to what I want. So I would most of the time I use the arrow key on my keyboard so that I can shift between small values and see what exactly I want. This is good for me, and maybe a little bit of magenta would look good. So yes, this is something that I would like to move along with. Now slightly increasing the exposure. Now highlights. The highlights would get the details from the sky. Now slightly, yeah, the details from. So what contrast does is, if you have seen some of my tutorials on basic these modules, you should get it. But contrast basically increases the bright pixel and dark pixel simultaneously. And it does help to make your image look bit dimensional. For example, if I take away the contrast, the image looks so flat, right? So yeah, it does helps to make it a bit dimensional. In a way, it helps you to maintain a sense of depth. Right, so far this is where we have came. Looks good to me so far. I so wish there was not this bag, but yeah, we can later use vignetting to decrease the attention our eyes is having it here. Now slightly increase the color of the vibrance, the color with the vibrance. I hope you guys know the difference between the vibrance and saturation. Vibrance gives less priority to, more priority to muted colors and less priority to skin tones. So it's really nice to use vibrance when you are editing portrait or a photo of any person. Now let's come to the tone curve. Luminance controls the brightness and darkness of a color. Every color has some amount of brightness and darkness on it, so luminance controls that. So if I change the green, you see the green color is being more darker, more brighter, and the green color is being a bit darker. So yeah, that it's control the brightness and darkness of a color. Nice split toning. Split toning is really helpful to maintain a color tone. It helps you to give color to your highlights and shadows separately. So if I click here, I will get a window or dialog box with different color. So what color I want to be here? On highlights, maybe some blue, and on shadows I think I would like to get some more detail from the sky, so I'm using a graduated filter. The effect gets from the point I drag to this edit points. These are the places where effects would be effect changes will take place. So graduated filter, I will decrease the highlight to recover some details, slightly increase the shadow, and maybe underexpose a little bit. Take this little up. Let's see the difference. Yes, good. Now maybe I like to have some details from here as well. Detail as in I make it more brighter. One interesting thing about these sliders is if you double click on the name, it will get back to 0. So if my shadow is 74, if I double click here, it will get back to 0. Slightly increase the exposure. Done. This looks good. Now let's come to sharpening. I really hope you guys are familiar with these tools, the masking, the detail. If not, you should check some of my video tutorials or any other tutorials in YouTube. So this is vignetting. The concept of vignetting is it makes the area, the edge of your photo be darker, so that because our eyes falls on the brightest part of our image and recede on the darkest part. So when you make your edges darker, there is I believe in a way that there is a less chance that your eyes will go out of the frame. And yeah, the midpoint will help to take it more deeper, so that the center part would be brighter. This would really work better for the images, like for the images where the subject is on the dead center. But yeah, on images like this, it can work as well. See the difference? Yes. I don't much play with camera calibration, but Yeah, sometimes it does helps you to get some good colors, pop out the color. If you are very new to photo editing, one advice I can give you is, once you are done with the editing that you do, make sure that you slightly decrease the vibrance, because most of the time what happens is, like, we end up applying the effect more than it's necessary. That is something that happens when you are on, like, in the initial stage of photo editing. So if we see the difference now, this is how our image was and this is how it looks now. Anything else that we could do? Maybe I would like to make this part slightly bit brighter. Now I'm using the radial filter. If you see the difference, slightly, just good. Yeah, this is good. So with cropping, maybe if I take it, you know what, when I'm taking landscape, I try to keep the horizon line either on this part or on this part. I never try to keep it on the center, because here the horizon line is this, right, or this one. So I try to keep it near either on the top line or on the bottom line, never on the between. Yeah, I do keep it between, but yeah, that is something that I have on my mind whenever I take landscape photos. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I love cropping. I love cropping images. Maybe I can desaturate this in Photoshop. Yeah, it's a lot of. Yeah, I'm good. Now I shall take it to Photoshop. Right click, edit in Photoshop CC. So here we are in Photoshop. Our photo has been opened in Photoshop, and now let's see what else we can do. The first thing I usually do with my photos is I get the crops. Let's see if I can. Let's slightly increase the contrast first. Another curves for the colors. Now let's go to the blue. I don't know if you guys see the difference or not, but I slightly added a blue tone on the shadow and a small amount of yellow tone on the highlights. The blue channel is responsible for controlling the blue and yellow. Yellow and blue are the two contrasting colors. Now let's go to red. This is good. And yeah, I slightly wanted to desaturate this green part, so I'll go to even saturation, decrease the saturation, go to the layers again. Now press Command I, that will invert it. Select my brush tool. I'm using masking out here, white as a foreground color, flow little up to 23%. Now slightly zoom and let's see to what point I can desaturate it without making it looking natural. This is good, yeah. Now let's go to color balance, maybe in midtones. This is one option in Photoshop where you can't just double click on the name and get back to 0. You just have to select it. 0. We are in midtones right now. I'm slightly added blue tone. I really like blue color tones. I don't know why. That's what I find on most of my images. Let's go to highlight, slightly yellow. It's good. Now let's go to selective color. Selective color will help you to get some variation on the color tone. Yeah, when I don't know what exactly I want, I move through these sliders to see to check if I can get something interesting. Now yellow. See, selective color is doing good. Let's go to black. A little bit more of a contrast. So yeah, let's go to levels, ops, sorry, and slightly bit of contrast. This will do good. So far with our colors, this is how our image was and this is how it looks now. Now I will add some, maybe I'll add some detail on the image. So what I'll do is Shift Command Alt E. This will give me a stamp visible layer. Now I'll change it into a smart filter, convert for smart filter. Now we have our smart filter. Now I'm going to apply high pass on it, or the high pass, set a value. Now the thing is, I just added high pass. comes here. Now if I change it into overlay, you should see the difference it makes. You should see the difference. Now if it's if you need more detail than that, now you can simply double click on high pass. A window will appear, and now you can increase the value. For example, I would like to do it. For example, now if I want something like 1.5 or 6, okay, now I have it. So this is one way your editing becomes very non-destructive editing. Now one more thing I like to do is I like to apply manual vignetting. It's a very easy step. For me to apply manual vignetting, I will select the area first with marquee tool. So this is where I want most of my attention to be. Done. Now I will select the refine edge. And I will take the feather all up to this 153. Okay, this is just a random number. This now I will go to curves and underexpose it. I will invert it, command I. Layer. Now slightly. So whenever you are applying vignetting, the thing you have to really be careful is the transition between the dark part and the bright part. You should not see the transition, and in case if you, because here I applied the feather of 153, if you see the transition, there is one thing you can do is simply go to the filter, blur, and apply Gaussian blur. When you apply the Gaussian blur here, since the transition is not strong, it's not visible. Even if I apply small Gaussian blur, it will be good, but in your case, try experimenting with bigger values if the transition is quite strong. Okay, so this is my manual vignetting. Now I'll go to Windows Action, and I have made this one action for file info. Play. When I do that, my file information gets written on my image. So yeah, the document title, author name, description, my website, everything. You can, if you don't know how to make action, I have made a video tutorial on it, you can see. And now I will apply my watermark. I have saved my watermark with new name. There I have it in PNG format. Okay. Here I simply, all I have to do is drag it here. Yes, okay. It's a bit bigger. And this is how I edit most of my photos. Yeah, this is just something. Yeah, this is how I edit photos. There are lots of other different ways. Maybe I will slightly desaturate it, reduce the vibrance a bit. Yeah, this is how I did. I hope you learned something new, something was helpful to you, uh, subscribers, and yes, keep learning, keep clicking. Thank you so much. Bye bye. You know what? I'm not done yet. When I saw the image later, I didn't like something in the image. That is, this the paper and the flow is taking my attention away, and maybe that is something I can get rid of. So I'll create a new layer on the top, then S for stamp tool, zoom it, patch it, and oh sorry, I have to take it from distance. It's not looking nice either. The color is, yeah, the color. So this is good, and maybe yes. Similarly, let's clean our city, right? I have to get rid of this color as well, which I'll do later. Now for the color thing, I'll create a new layer, just cleaning. Brush tool, pick the color you want. Now paint over it, as simple as it can be. Brush tool is probably one of the most for me it's one of the most used tool, sorry for that, most used tool in for retouching. So now we still have to go out there. Let's see if only people would have cleaned it, I would not have this much trouble here, but that's okay. I'm good in Photoshop. I can take care of that. Done. Does it? Yeah, if you zoom it you can see the transition, but I think it's not much of a big deal. On the last one, the reason I am selecting it because it will make my job a lot easier. Yeah, I think I am doing a very bad job here, but I hope you will not be lazy like me, and you'll do something better when it comes to when it comes to doing something professional. So yes, I think I'm done now. This is the final. Yeah. So yes, this is what the final image look like. Thank you so much once again. Bye bye.